Hey everyone, this is Bruno and here's a crash course of how to play chess. Chess is a two-player game played on a chessboard of 68 squares. Each player begins with 16 pieces. 1 king, 1 queen, 2 bishops, 2 knights, 2 rooks, and 8 pawns. The setup. On the center, we have the king, then the queen, then outside of them, the bishops, then outside of the bishops, the knights, outside of the knights, the rooks, and then the 8 pawns in front. I made a mistake here of placing the king on the wrong side. The black king should be in the white square, and the white king should be in the black square. Here are the basic moves of chess. A piece is captured by replacing an opponent's piece's place on a square. A pawn moves forward 1 square. It has the option to move forward 2 squares on the first move. A pawn captures its opponent 1 square diagonally forward, to the left or to the right. En passant happens when a pawn moves 2 squares and ends beside an opponent's pawn. That pawn may be captured by the opponents as if it had moved only 1 square forward. This move is only legal on the turn after the pawn moves 2 squares. This option expires after. When a pawn makes it to the other end, it can then be promoted into a queen, a rook, a bishop, or a knight. The king moves vertically, horizontally, or diagonally for 1 square. A check happens when the king is at risk of getting captured by the opponent. When this happens, the one who makes the check has to say check. A checkmate happens when there is a check and the king cannot get out of it. When this happens, the one who makes the checkmate has to say checkmate. A checkmate is a way to win the game apart from your opponent giving up. A draw is when neither player wins. There are 4 cases for this. 1. If the king is not in check and has no moves left. 2. If 50 moves have passed without any pawn moves and captures. 3. If the game is at a perpetual cycle. 4. If there are insufficient materials. Castling happens with the king and the rook. Castling short is when the king moves 2 squares to the king's side and the rook to its other side. Castling long is when the king moves 3 squares to the queen's side and the rook to its other side. There are 6 rules of castling. 1. It should be the king's first move. 2. It should be the selected rook's first move. 3. You can't castle while in check. 4. You can't castle into check. 5. You can't castle through a check. And 6. No piece can be between the king and the rook. The queen moves vertically, horizontally, or diagonally all the way. The bishops move diagonally all the way. The rooks move vertically or horizontally all the way. The knights move on an L pattern as shown here. That'll be 2 squares horizontally, then 1 square vertically, or 2 squares vertically and 1 square horizontally. The knight also can't be blocked by any other piece, so it can jump as shown here.